Breaking Barriers with Bria. Today we are here for our first installment for Women's History Month, in which we will be talking about women in sports. Here I have two amazing athletes with me, and they're going to introduce themselves in a few. Let's get into it.
I'm Arielle. I play basketball in Atlanta. I played for Agnes Scott College, and I was a point guard.
You're still a point guard. My name is Sasha. I graduated from Sexism University. I played power forward, and Arielle was my teammate in high school. Fun fact.
Yay! Ooh, excited. Are you excited?
Super excited.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. So I want to know how many sports y'all played growing up, and what really made you choose basketball?
In high school, I played volleyball and basketball, but before that I played every sport you can think of. My parents were definitely decided to make you do everything and just figure out exactly what you liked, but you couldn't say no until you tried it. So ended up sticking with volleyball and basketball. I attempted to play volleyball in college, and attempted as loosely. Our volleyball team wasn't that good, so one of the coaches kind of just approached me, and I did like volleyball, but my coach was not having that. So, yeah. But volleyball and basketball are definitely two sports that I could probably still play today.
Yeah.
But basketball has my heart for sure.
And I wouldn't even say like it was tough trying to play two sports, or even multiple sports. Even in high school, when I played sports, I actually played lacrosse and I did competitive cheerleading in high school. And so I was fortunate to be the captain or leader of both teams. And I felt like my coaches were always going at it, like always. With love, but I could always feel like the tension, so it was definitely tough. And then when it came to college, I had to choose one.
Oh yeah, because they overlap, especially most sports, period, just because of the amount of training that you do. But volleyball and basketball, I do remember high school, I thoroughly enjoyed volleyball because I was able to skip preseason sometimes if we were doing well. So that was good.
Yeah. What about you, Arielle? What sports did you play, and what made you choose basketball?
So I really only did tumbling or gymnastics. I started at like 18 months.
Okay. I started when I was 18, when I was 1 year old. 18 months.
That's what my brother did, so that's what they put me in.
So you had to follow behind your brother.
Yeah. I was pretty good. And then I went to basketball about 6th grade. I actually played like a day softball in college because they needed players. But I was actually terrible.
You were terrible?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I would have paid to see that. Good money.
Okay. So in high school,
and track. You ran track. You said that.
I did not run track. I ran track.
And
youth, not high school. Not high school though.
I'm talking about high school. Our high school coach. If you were going to play varsity basketball, you were required to run track.
So. See, that was another thing. Yeah.
Until I came.
I didn't know about her waiver, but everybody else had to run track.
She had a waiver. She was special.
No, I knew track. Like I just told you, I did every sport until I figured out what was not for me. Track was on the not for me list.
Yeah.
So, but volleyball went on around the same time as track, so I got a pass probably. That's probably what that was.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I think about like, what high school did you go to?
Fayette County High School.
Fayette County. Yeah. What was the demographics there?
At the time?
Yeah.
PWI.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was pretty black, and I came from Clayton County, and I felt like my experience felt black.
Shout out to Clayton.
I think the transition, because of course, so when I was in 9th grade, you were in 10th grade. So 9th grade, it was very white. Like I remember a kid got in trouble because he was flinging a Confederate flag over the staircase. Like just dumb. Okay. Like nothing I think he was just being a jerk, honestly.
Yeah.
But I will say 11th and 12th grade year, definitely very black. The only thing is, even when it was black, Fayetteville is definitely like, a high class black. So it's still elitist. Even though it is black, it's still a different experience than being in Clayton County. I will say that.
Yeah. That makes sense. I was just thinking about like my experience as an athlete having to do other sports. Like you said, you had to run track. And I kind of wondered whether or not that was because like we were good at so many different things. Am I making sense? Yeah. Like if you were an athlete, they wanted you on another team as well because you were so good.
For
like
sure.
You playing basketball, but you're fast, so you finna do the 4x4, or whatever, And so I wonder if that's only like a athlete of color thing. I just wonder. I don't know.
I'm sure you could probably look up just to see if anybody's done a study or something, because that is very interesting, especially like you said, being in a predominantly white area. I think you have like the athlete. Like I remember like for Fayette County was definitely blacker than Northgate.
Right.
But like when you went to Northgate, the same kids that played basketball also ran track and was on the softball team. So you on to something right there.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, I just thought about it. It's not about it. Okay, so what made you choose basketball, Arielle, like in college?
In college?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not get recruited a lot in high school. Like, like that's what it was. But I loved basketball, so I wanted to play. So I got recruited by Agnes Scott, and I actually didn't want to go there, but my parents did like the school, and ultimately, like I wanted to play basketball, so that's why I went there, and I was always gonna choose basketball.
Okay. You were always gonna choose basketball. Okay, and so just for some context here, we have a D1 player as well as a D3 player, and there is a difference. So did either of you travel for college, like college sports? Did you travel? Yeah. And what was your experience with traveling?
I think it's funny now because I was actually just having this conversation with somebody the other day. Stetson at the time was a smaller Division I, and so though we did have certain Division I privileges, certain stuff like now they catch flights to almost all their games. Yeah. Whereas like for us, like you had the privilege of being on a nice coach bus, but at the same time we did have games at like ETSU where we drove through the snow. Different stuff where the UConns of the world not doing that.
Yeah, they not. So
like we are D1 and UConn is D1, but it's still very different. So different. Yeah, it's still a different experience. So like even though we talk D1 and D3 and whatever different things in between, but I think that it really just matters who's putting money into it, because now, Stetson, they have those people that back in, and granted, it's something that we were able to say we laid the foundation for it. So
for sure.
Of course, still a blessing, but it's very different. Like, it's very different. Travel, of course, you travel through wherever you walking through the airport, they're like, oh my God, because you with 15 other girls.
Yeah.
They all 6'5", 6'4", 6'3", so.
They all 6'5". Our tallest player was probably 5'9".
I do remember that. Lies. And I thought it was like big dog.
It was like, what sport do y'all play?
Basketball. How dare you ask? Y'all look like y'all play lacrosse.
Dang.
They was guessing.
Do not do that.
I'm sorry. I just
the shade. First of all, okay, we had some tall people on a lacrosse team.
What's tall?
All right.
What's tall?
I'm 5'9", okay, and there was people that was taller than me.
You could have played.
I know that is what she just said, but all I'm saying is I wasn't the tallest person on the team. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Shade.
We'll give you that.
Thank you. Anyways, okay. How tall are you, Sasha?
6 foot.
6 foot. Okay.
Yeah.
6 foot. Okay. Whatever. We'll give you 6 foot. But so like Arielle was saying, she got recruited to play at Agnes. You got recruited to play at Stetson.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Cool beans. Any advice you would give to like any younger women of color that are looking to be recruited for college or trying to choose a school?
My advice would always be academics first, because including myself, so many players like put their all into getting a scholarship or even just playing when like life is so much bigger than that. And I think that the AAU world makes it like feel like it's more attainable for more people than it actually is. So, academics first. If you can play, that's great. But also academics first.
Said like a true D3 player.
Right.
D3 student athlete. Student athlete.
I definitely wasn't going in that direction.
I'm glad I went first.
Thank you for that. We needed that.
Okay, go ahead, Sasha. What do you think?
No, for me, it's just about doing what you want to do. I feel like a lot of kids, they got so many people in there, especially now between social media, parents, AAU coaches, they can't really make their own decision for themselves. And I think that a lot of people, they get caught up in a name. Like, you might have an offer from the Stetsons of the world. You might also have an offer from Tennessee or Kansas or wherever, but it's like, which school best fits you? Not so you can go back to your friends and say, this is where I got an offer from. And I think that's one thing that I always looked at. My parents, I visited 4 schools, and Stetson was probably the lowest on the list of potential. So I think that for people, they just need to know, what do you want? What are you trying to get out of this? Like, it's Arielle and it's about academics and you want to get your degree and get a good job, or you want to go win games, you trying to go to the league. I think you got to know what you want out of it and make sure you get out of it what you need and not what everybody around you needs.
I like that. said like a wonderful D1.
I do want to say, and I know the stats have probably changed, but when I was in my master's program,
what you finna say? Don't be jumping ahead.
I was just gonna say something like less than a very small percentage of people actually get an athletic scholarship.
Oh yeah, you can say that.
It's like less than 5.
So I still stand on academics. But out of that very small percentage, if you got the options, then take scholarship.
But not even just that. I'll piggyback on you to say everybody can't go to Stetson. I'm gonna say that.
So what do you mean by that?
So Stetson is considered the Harvard of the South. Like they have a law school. They have that's a private university. We're D1 because of the number of students there, but most of the kids that go there are very much marginalized. I remember I had a kid that his dad came to speak to our class, and he was the owner and creator of autotrader.com.
Oh, wow.
And I think that was the moment that I realized my privilege in even being able to dribble a ball and be there and be in the same room with them. Because there weren't many other kids at the school that looked like me that didn't play a sport. So I will say, like, academics, as a Division I player, you ain't going. The books ain't going. The ball ain't bouncing, and vice versa. They go hand in hand.
Yep.
Whereas at D3, the books have to come first because you're not. So it's different, but both, I feel like both still hold the same value, and you got to do what you got to do to still make what you got to make happen. So I think, if you are a kid where you like, I want to go to a school, make an impact, still get an education, and be put in the right positions, go where you need to go. If you like, shoot, I'm trying to go hoop and go to the league. Go to the Auburns, the Floridas, UConn. Go where you need to go to make sure that happens.
Right.
But it still holds weight on each level of basketball for sure.
Right. Okay. And that goes into like my next question in regards to, what was your previous experience with the league? So whether that's WNBA, NBA, like internationally, like what was your experience? I just want to see if you all have had any experience with those.
Any experiences with the WNBA? I interned with the league for a very short time, a few months.
That's cool.
It was very cool. It was a free internship, so I was working on the side. But I feel like everybody wants to work in sports, so for me, I got the chance to see that.
Did you learn a lot?
I learned a lot about the business. It's very different when you're not playing. So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you're gonna say. Okay, I love it. I love it. Yes. Okay, confidentiality. Okay, I like that. We respect that around here.
You have played professionally.
Yes. So please tell us.
I played overseas for 3 years.
Okay.
I think if I would have been educated more on the process of actually trying to go to the WNBA, I probably could have. But I didn't necessarily know, as far as declaring for the league, and there are a number of things that come with it. It's not just like, here's a bag of roses. Yeah. So overseas, I thoroughly enjoyed. I really appreciate the experience. Traveling and you ain't got to pay a penny. That's always great.
Wow. Oh yeah.
You get paid to travel and do what you love. That's more so how I looked at it.
Absolutely.
I'm also just privileged to be able to say that I stopped playing when I wanted to stop playing. So that makes me feel good. I talk to a lot of friends that, whether it's an injury or whatever they may have had going on, family stuff, it's been, harder for them to actually cope with not playing. Yeah. And so, and I get that. Like, if somebody strip away something that you really love and have passion for, you gotta really, let that sink in. So
very true.
Overseas was great. I enjoyed being able to do it. So
okay, so I'm so interested. I have no idea. How do you even look into that? Does somebody just recruit you?
So it's not necessarily recruiting, and I will say this process has changed. So I'm speaking on my experience.
Yeah, of course.
When I first finished, it's crazy because your senior year, the NCAA they already have just 1,000 rules. You can't breathe wrong.
You really cannot
getting a violation. So going into my senior year, my coach already told me if people are writing on Facebook and this and that, just don't respond. She was like, you can respond when the season's over. You can do it. I was like, who can be writing me? I'm like, okay, but she did tell me that. So it wasn't probably until January, February of my senior year that it started to happen. But it was awesome. I'm like, wow, dang, these people are really reaching out to me hey, we see you're nearing the end of your career. Would you like to further it? You want to go overseas? And it's people that they typing these messages in Arabic and all type of stuff. You got to translate it through Facebook. Right. The hardest part is knowing, what's legit and what's not. So they always, of course, recommend you to get an agent because you could easily, the league, they call it clubs overseas, but
okay,
you could cost the club less money by not having an agent, because then they don't have to pay your agent and you.
Oh.
You can advocate for yourself to go overseas. That's not. I know a lot of people trying to make it seem like it's so impossible. Go to the FIBA website, look up coaches, look up teams, see who needs players.
Yeah,
Facebook them. They're on Facebook.
Right.
Like, people, I know they make it seem like it's so far fetched. The only thing that's going to change about going overseas is how much you get paid. That's really it. But if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Because you got to understand that overseas, a lot of countries, they don't do college ball.
Yeah.
They go straight from high school to professional.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, I'm professional. Like, I've been on teams where you got a 16, 17-year-old girl on the team.
Wow.
And she's like, I'm professional.
Who
You're
can
what?
ball? Right.
But that's just how their process is different.
Yeah.
So I will say that that's something that I did appreciate being able to learn. Fortunately for me, I did have an agent. And also, I had my first agent I actually fired because I didn't feel like a priority, because he had a lot of top 25 players. He had a lot of WNBA and he did NBA. So I just didn't feel like a priority. I didn't like that. So went through my contract with him, and then I switched agents. But it's the process. It takes time, like anything else, but it's not impossible by any means.
So can I ask, like, am I allowed to ask who you played for or overseas, or how does that go? Am I allowed? If not, it's okay.
Well, I played in Puerto Rico my first year.
Oh,
my second year, I did not play, and in my third year, I was in Montenegro.
Okay.
And
I
think
think that's so cool.
Montenegro was an awesome experience. I finished as like the power forward of the year for the league.
Oh, congrats.
And then I got back home and I told my agent I wasn't playing anymore. And he was baffled. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine somebody coming here right now and telling you in 2 weeks you're going to leave and you're going to be gone for 10 months. Like, what am I doing with my apartment? What am I going to, I don't like that. I like stability. I like knowing, I need to know what we're doing tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like feeling like I have to pack up my whole life. And I also just feel like I had so many people here depending on me that it wasn't feasible anymore. And it wasn't something that I felt like I needed to fulfill what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I stopped, and I remember both my friends, Alma and Akilah, they both were like, "What are you doing? Oh my God!" They were my friends leave me up in the group chat. Yeah, no, and I was like, no. So I quit, and I kid you not, I quit. I came back over here and I was like, I don't know what I'm about to do. I had never had a real job. And I started delivering sandwiches at Jimmy John's.
Yeah. Why you saying like that?
I'm telling, no, but imagine you go from being a professional athlete to delivering sandwiches at Jimmy John's, bro. Like, hey, look, and so I went from being in Montenegro, for real. I went from being in Montenegro where like a lady legit gave me her baby and made me pose for a picture. Like, imagine feeling like Michael Jordan over there.
Like, you on top of the world.
And now I'm on 14th Street. Okay,
delivering sauce.
But this is not exactly. But that's how bad I was. Like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, it was really like hilarious. And my mom was like, "What are you doing? Just go." I was like, "I'm good. I don't want to go back."
I remember when you said that. I was hurt because I went on tryouts. I kid you not. I went on like.
Okay.
I kept seeing like they make you charge money. I guess if you have an agent, it might be different. And I don't know if it's different now, but to me, I went on one tryout with one of my teammates, and I think you encouraged me. You said, "Yeah, like you I promise you, Arielle, I know you played Division III, but you can play overseas.
You can."
And I was like, "Sasha said I could play. I could play." So I went on these tryouts, and I kid you not, I went to one in Birmingham, and it was a scam.
Well, see,
there were like 4 people there.
But see, I also
I gave it up. I said I gotta get a job.
I probably encourage you.
This is real life.
But no, it's actually
this
funny.
Is what happened to me.
Wait, no, pause. You
I gotta get a job.
I probably did not vet wherever you were going. I probably just like, no, you should, but didn't say like, who are you going with?
No,
that probably should have been the question I asked. I didn't answer details. That's on me. I didn't ask for details. But that's hilarious. It was a scam.
I'm sorry.
Y'all was 4 people in the gym doing a full workout for nobody.
Sorry.
Really good workout.
Woo!
You appreciate the workout, but it was like, it had no overseas plans. That's crazy. We're going to beat them up.
I agree.
We're going to, count your days.
Where
you are there in Alabama, you count your days.
Count them days, okay? You can have my girl shooting in the gym with 4 people.
But seriously, I do want to ask this because after that we started, me and my teammate, we started looking up the, I guess the country or the team or whatever. Yeah. And we found articles of like bad stories. So like it does feel like when you go over there, like who's advocating for you, like.
But and that's why a lot of people have agents. And even then, I will tell you, even then it's tough because Akilah Akilah went over, and I'm not gonna say what country, but a certain country that people know has a good league, but they are also known for not fulfilling their end of the bargain. And she was struggling to even get her flight back. So get her flight back plus the money they owed on the contract. But like the actual club, cause it's really AU, but they call it club ball. And so, but the actual club had just defaulted, like between whoever their GM was, you know, whatever. But imagine being, because you're not a citizen. You're like, what are you gonna do? Sue them?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know, like it's that, and that's why I say get an agent, stuff like that. Because once it does become my word against yours, what was in the contract, what wasn't, it's like you need a lawyer, and you're not gonna get a lawyer over here because you're obviously not a citizen. You can't understand nothing. So that's why most people get an international agent, which my agent ended up being an international agent. The agent I had originally, he was based here in America. I think he was like out of Texas. I can't even remember his name. But he had so many American players that he managed. Like I said, I didn't feel like a priority. But once I got my European agent, he's there. Like, you know, he can catch a train to another country to make sure this is legit. Like,
real quick. Right.
So that's a different experience. So yes, no, but that happens. And that has nothing to do with it, because overseas is just like college, Division 1, 2, 3, whatever. But it can happen even to Division 1 teams over there. And it's because of the lack of, like you said, having somebody to advocate for you. It's WNBA players right now that would give you a story about the type of stuff they went through in Spain, Greece, wherever. So I don't think they got it better.
So speaking of not having it better, I'm interested to know, in playing ball, right? You talked about high school and how your high school was kind of a PWI at the time. And then there's college, where both of these, Agnes Scott College as well as Stetson, was both PWIs. Did you experience any racism? And then Sasha, did you experience any racism even overseas? So actually, Arielle, so let's do national, then we'll talk international.
Okay. Me personally, I don't feel like I experienced any racism while playing. However, I do feel like when I started working in the sports industry, coaching and doing different internships, I felt like I experienced it and like saw it. Like, you know, the black people worked on this level. The executives look very different from us, and they all look the same. But as just a basketball player, I mean, maybe it was happening, I didn't know. I mean, I was working, you know, X's and O's, but me personally, I don't feel like I experienced it at that level.
Plays, dribble, pass, shoot.
X's and O's. That really said.
Got you. Okay, Sasha. In college and then internationally.
Yeah, I mean, I think college. Well, I went to college in Florida, so I mean, you already know the type of people that be around them parts sometimes. So, I will say we had to play in Fort Myers a lot. That's definitely like a retirement city in Florida. Not fun. Outside of that, I don't think there were any, like, not any direct issues. But I do remember our school is down the street from Sanford. And so I was in school when Trayvon Martin was killed. That was kind of an eerie time to be on campus. You really got to see, you know, who believed in what or what their opinions may have been. But not like anybody targeting me and being racist, but definitely like, you know, some opinions where you're like, I don't know if I want to associate with that person.
For sure.
College wise, I mean, internationally, I think racism is subjective sometimes. I just kind of was debating somebody the other day on Twitter because a girl it was a TikTok, and like all these people were like taking pictures of her and, you know, wanting to touch her hair and this different stuff. And, you know, people are like, no, they know better and this and that. And I'm like, I don't think, you know, us as Americans sometimes don't realize how far removed people are in other parts of the world.
Very
like
true.
When I was in Montenegro, it wasn't common for them to have dryers in each household. So like if you had your lucky pair of drawers and they was not washed and dried, maybe you're not wearing those. Like, because you had to hang dry them.
You got to hang on the line.
Right. I was hanging stuff like, my aunt thought I was crazy when I came home and put my clothes in the dryer and just like laid, you know, you already do that just naturally, but now legit like laying on about to cry. And she like, what is wrong? I'm like, you don't understand. I've been hang drying these clothes. Like,
get my lucky draw.
Right. So I think that some people don't realize like how we love social media and we love the internet and we need information, right? Some of them countries are still in a place where they're waiting to get stuff on a postcard and they don't learn 2 weeks after the fact that something happened to somebody. So I mean, it's just, you got to take it like when my locks, and I had a girl come up to me and she was like, I'm so sorry, but can I touch your hair? And like, if we were here, I would be like, hell no. Like, but she legit was just like, trying to understand it. She was like, I want to do my hair like this. I'm like, baby, you can't do that.
Baby, you can't do that.
Right. But it was a genuine curiosity. So subjective, but it does exist. I'm not going to say what certain people go through is not real.
Yeah.
So. Can I ask a quick?
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if you had experiences with that, because
oh wow.
Now that I think that we had one school that was a little iffy, so I'm wondering what your experience was.
I think being a black girl playing lacrosse, I definitely experienced racism for sure. So for those, I'm disclosing this to y'all people out there. For those that don't know, I'm from Atlanta, and I went to Tri-Cities High School, which is predominantly black, a predominantly people of color school, you know. A lot of black people, a lot of people of the Latinx community there. And so we actually had like the first all girls black lacrosse team in the nation. And so it was pretty cool. Our coach was from Connecticut. Shout out, coach. It was, I think, such a brave thing for her to do, you know, to start the team. And so I remember her saying, if you hear anything, if somebody says anything, like any type of racial slur or whatever, just like sit down on the field. And so I didn't have to do it a lot, but while my time there, as well as once I left, there were instances where we sat down on the field and literally everybody would just follow through. Like, and if you did that, you already knew like what was up. You already knew what happened. And my coach just didn't play that shit. So I still have a lot of respect for her in that. In college, you know, our Agnes Scott College. So for those that don't know, I also went to Agnes Scott College with Arielle. And so while I played lacrosse, we still, like, it was, Agnes Scott is a PWI, but it still is very diverse. It's like one of the most #1 innovative institution, I think, like 4 or 5 years in a row, right? I think with USA News. So regarding that, I was surprised to experience racism on the team. And I remember, and I ain't gonna say no names.
With your teammates.
Yeah, not even necessarily. Well, hold on.
Let me go ahead.
All right, we talking about the other teammates. We're gonna get you too.
I love it. Absolutely. No, I'm gonna leave my teammates out of it, but I will say that I had an assistant coach or a graduate assistant coach, who made a microaggression, I guess, and I'm sure she did not even realize it, but we were traveling, and I think like she was giving directions or whatever about coming downstairs for breakfast or something like that. And then I remember her saying, yeah, Bria, don't come downstairs in booty shorts and flip-flops and a bonnet. And I was like,
I came downstairs in booty shorts, flip-flops.
I should have. I didn't, but I was so confused. I was like, why would she say that? Like, why would I be the one to come down here? Yeah. I'm confused.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah. So I did experience that. That was unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I really hope that professional has learned something from since then. I'll say that. But I do want to ask about any sexism that y'all may or may not have experienced growing up. Like, did you possibly play ball with like the boys or on teams with boys or whatever? And did you experience like any discrimination? Did anybody ever try you and be like, oh, no, she can't play, and then you just whoop their ass?
Often.
Okay, I wasn't expecting it so fast.
Yeah, no, okay. I think that exists in anything, unfortunately, as women.
Women's history, man.
And I mean, but I think even, you know, more so, unfortunately, as a masculine presenting woman, you know, men seemingly will go toe to toe with you just to prove something, or remind you that you're a woman. Like, you don't wake up this person every day. And yeah, you know, growing up, you already know whatever sport you play, boys always, anything you can do, I can do better. So it's a difference in being competitive and just being nasty. And you know, that's what's going to happen. I to this day, I was just talking about why I don't go and play like pickup at LA Fitness and stuff. And just because it's like, no, I'm gonna definitely go to work on you. And I just don't feel like having to defend my womanhood after I beat you. It's a lot. Like, we read articles every day. Girls are literally dying over basketball games. And I think that's insane. Like, so yeah, no, constant, that has never stopped for me to this day. Like, I even made it a point the other day, I'm walking out the store and my partners, they had nothing in their hands. And I'm carrying all the bags, and dude held the door for them, and the door, for whatever reason, the door seemingly closed when I was walking through it. You know,
course. Right.
And I'm just like, interesting.
Yeah.
She's not holding anything.
Right. And
it's
not even like you wanted him to hold you the door.
No, and he didn't have
you're a
to,
woman, but you were
just
also carrying things.
Right. And it was
in both
obvious.
of your hands.
It wasn't like, you could say, oh, I'm sorry. No, we were all together. We were all walking. And
right.
Absolutely. So just, little subtle stuff that you start to notice. And like I said, being a woman, period, and then just being a masculine woman, I think makes it worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I was growing up, I was so unaware, just being honest. Like, this was clueless. But thank God I went to Agnes Sky College.
Okay. It's a
got me together.
Yeah.
But now working in sports, but also like I'm not even in the industry anymore. And my current industry, like it's every single day is, I'm your boss, but why do we have an issue when I ask you to do something versus when somebody else who is a male, unfortunately, so I find myself kind of trying to break barriers every day with that now. And I wish I was more aware when I was younger, but
but now, and it might not be the easiest thing to do, but you stand up for injustice and you do what's right. You break barriers. So that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yay. Okay. I wanted to chat about the unfortunate experience that Brittney Griner had. I feel like it was crazy. I just, in my opinion, I know that countries and politics are politics or whatever, but I just still feel as if there could have been more that was done. And I can't help but think if this was somebody, a man, who was really helping to sell some seats in some stadiums, playing for the NBA, I can't help but think that it just wouldn't have taken that long. That's my opinion, though. I ain't never played for the league, so I don't really know the ins and outs. But just on basic like humanity, I just feel as if more could have been done. So I want your opinions on that. Like, what do y'all think?
I feel like it would have never happened to somebody in the NBA because they don't need to be overseas in the first place.
There's that. Say that again, because at first that didn't register with me at first. But say it again. Say that again.
I said I know a lot of people were trying to compare LeBron James. If this was LeBron James, I heard that a lot. But he would have never been overseas playing basketball because he made more than enough here. So those are my thoughts.
Well.
We're just going to go ahead and end this.
Okay, that's a word. He wouldn't have even been overseas in the first place because he make enough money here to live and to play the sport that he loves.
He's a billionaire.
Come on.
Which is great for him.
Absolutely. I love LeBron.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely. Okay, sorry. Sasha, you got something to say?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, just to piggyback off that, I'll never forget going into Foot Locker one time and seeing Shoni Schimmel, and she was working. And I was so blown away. But it was like, and not blown away because I didn't know. It was just more so, like you said, put LeBron James in Foot Locker. Is he going to get the job done? Like, it ain't even about, like, he won't be able to work.
Right.
They don't even know that Shoni Schimmel was helping them put on their Nikes. Like, meanwhile, I'm like, ain't that old girl? I'm like, trying to whisper.
And it's so normal.
Right, and it's so normal because as women, if you play professional basketball, you do have a second job. And so, I mean, I think it sucks. I think what annoyed me the most is the internet's involvement with the whole Brittney Griner thing, opinions, but that happens. Never going to take away from a crime being a crime. However,
yeah, for sure,
the punishment has to fit the crime.
For sure.
And I feel like that's where people kind of got lost in translation. It wasn't about like when they're like, well, duh, why would you go overseas?
Yeah.
We talking about a pen. Like, we're not talking, she wasn't going over there with enough with the intent to distribute.
Right,
like I just said earlier, you go overseas, you have to go for like 10 months. Like, and lucky for her time. Because she's in the WNBA, she goes for like 7 because they leave early to go play in the WNBA. But it's just like, why are you acting like that wasn't just something normal? Like if you got pulled over right now, you have your pen with you are they really gonna say, hey, let me get that, we're gonna test it for THC,
right?
And if it is, now you have a DUI. No.
Yeah.
Like, so I think, like, it was just unfair and
Yeah.
obviously invasive.
Right.
And I think it even sucks that once she was released, that she had to cut her hair. Like, she had to cut her hair because she said that the camp she was in was so cold that she cut her hair to use it.
Wow.
To be warm. And she said that they said that she had to cut it because when she would shower and not have a means to dry her hair, she would get sick.
Wow.
So I'm like, certain stuff we're not even thinking about. You know, like, even if she was in jail here, that wouldn't be a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, why the heck is it so cold that you can't even take a bath and wash your hair without getting sick? And we all know locks take forever to dry.
They do.
Like, be for real. So she probably had wet hair for 4 days.
Wow.
That's not okay. Nobody should have to do that. So I think it's a number of conversations that need to be happening. Like you said, man versus woman, international travel, a number of things. And also, like, it's also on her team, like people that should be educating her on what she should and shouldn't be doing. She paying them big bucks too. Like, yeah, she making money, but she has her own team that she pays, so it still falls on someone at some point. But
for sure,
people don't care about that. So
I do want to say that I recently looked her up, and I think she just signed to play with the Phoenix again. So, good for her. And, you know, I really wish her nothing but the best. All the love and light, you know, and blessings for sure. Shout out, boo. I hope you're okay. Okay. I don't know how much I can do for you, but I love you and I'll try. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, that's going to take us into our first trivia question. Which I will say, well, let me say, why do you think women go overseas to play internationally anyway? Like, we kind of already touched on it, but what do you think it is?
Money. It's money and it's love of the game. Because what people understand is that I know a few men that have gone overseas, and it's not a sacrifice because they can take their families with them. They can do all type of stuff. Even though the women's contracts are great, they don't all have the same benefits of men's contracts. You know, so they're still making a sacrifice. They're also working year round, and it's not that any job, of course, is year round. You're gonna go to work every day, but I think people forget of just the wear and tear, physically, mentally, all of that. For you know, you got to be across the country and still managing. Like, life is still going on in America. You know, your grandma getting sick, this happening with your mom, whatever. That stuff is still happening, and I think people it just kind of gets lost in translation because we use basketball as a means for our entertainment. Absolutely. And we just forget that they're real people. It's the same thing with musicians or whatever else. Yeah. So I think you have to grow. If you got a love for the game and playing basketball is what you want to do as a woman, you have to go overseas. It don't matter who you are. Unless you're Diana Taurasi, who Russia paid her to sit out from a WNBA season because the season's so short. Yeah. So if the WNBA season run from May to September and I can pay you to not play so you're in the best shape of your life from September to April, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And so those are the type of players that, you know, they get those type of benefits. They get, you know, what they need to be able to rest and do whatever. But that's not something that's common across.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna add, with the WNBA, it's just not that. Was it 12 teams? So it's not a lot of spots, but it's a lot of talent. So if you want to keep playing, like, more to your point, the passion, you have to go overseas to have an opportunity.
I didn't know that. Only 12 teams.
It's like 144 women in the WNBA. Wow. Yeah, I think they either the roster either cap at 12 or 13. One of them.
Wow. Okay. So trivia question number 1. The question is, first question, what is the average salary for women in the WNBA? And I'll give you 10 seconds. Average. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Yes, all right. You only get 10.
Who's going first?
Right, because we're going at the same time, or
you're gonna go first, then you're gonna go second. If you get it incorrect, you're gonna take a shot.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
I got to guess, but I don't know if it's accurate or not.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Average is 100,000.
Average 60K.
The correct.
I was gonna say it used to be 30 like 5 years ago.
We ain't talking about 5 years
ago.
It
That's a major increase.
Right. The correct answer is currently it's at 102K. Dang! Sasha looks like he got a.
I mean, technically she didn't get it right,
It's
but
because Diana Taurasi, you know.
All right. Ooh, yay! Good job, Arielle. Ooh, you're still safe for now. Okay. Second question. What is the average salary for someone playing in the NBA?
Definitely.
Sasha, since you got it right, no. Since
wrong.
you got it wrong. Okay, wait. So Arielle, you can go first again. Sasha, you go second. 10 seconds, Arielle.
Man, I have no idea. Like 14 million.
Okay.
I'm just
right. Average. I'm gonna go with 11 million.
Okay. Sasha was closer. Right now, the average is about 7.5 million.
That's about right.
Arielle, go ahead and take it. Actually, well,
I feel like it was a good guess.
I mean, that was a good guess, but hold on. I feel like y'all both were still kind of wrong. So, like, I feel like...
I completely agree. That's only fair. That's only fair.
But you didn't get the first one completely right. You said 100. It was 102. You were just the closest.
That's in range.
close.
That's in the range.
But no.
That's definitely in the range.
Go ahead. You're good.
Both of y'all, go ahead and take it. Let me see. What y'all got left? Actually, how many you got? How many you got left over there?
I got one more.
We might need another. Okay, go ahead, Sasha. I'm sorry. I mean, hey, we do this around here, so. I'm
impressed with how close I was.
Yeah, you got it. I was like, oh, okay.
She lied to me. She told me she wasn't good at trivia.
Okay. Alrighty. Next trivia question. Should be a fairly easy one. Who recently beat the all-time scoring record in the NBA?
LeBron James.
Yay!
So you take a shot.
First of all.
Hey, that escalated really fast.
Whose show is this? Okay, I will take the shot though, because both of y'all got it. All right. See, this is why I get for trying to throw something easy in there for people. I ain't doing that no more.
But can we just give them a round of applause?
What?
LeBron James.
Oh, absolutely, please. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Great job, please. LeBron, clap it up. Oh my gosh, great job. Like, you worked super, super hard, and you know, I think that it's definitely paid off, and maybe even a little later than it probably should have. You know, people got their own opinions about sports, but they can't take your talent away from you, sir. Cannot take your talent or your skill. So congratulations for sure. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and take my little shot or whatever, you know, since they want to be all unfair or whatever.
It's not unfair. I'm weak.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not supposed to be the one taking shots. See, that's how a G do it. No, I'm just playing. Ignore me. Okay, next question.
How many trivia questions?
Don't worry about that.
All right.
I literally had to drink every time.
Question. How much does an NBA water boy make?
Oh my
I probably want to be an NBA water boy.
Right. I'll be honest. Yeah.
I'm going to guess.
Okay, you gonna go first, Sasha?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. Like 150K.
That's exactly what I was gonna guess.
No, she lying.
No lie. No,
so if I get it right, don't be
I literally was
trying
gonna say 150. Like, let's just throw it out there.
Arielle.
You gotta be something different.
It gotta be.
Come on, band with me so we take a shot together.
200K.
Actually, that's incorrect.
Not both of them.
It's actually less than that. They do make about 58K a year, though.
I'm shocked.
But
even that's still crazy though.
But you a water boy.
Like, that's good money for a water boy.
Okay, all you gotta do is give them water, Gatorade.
They gotta be in tip top shape though. You know they can't miss a beat. If
this
you're
is
reaching
true.
for water, the water should be.
It better be right
shoulder.
there.
Yeah, like that.
If not, you cut.
It's
you
a high stress environment.
It's lines of water boys out the door.
It's
water women.
Women's basketball coaches making less than that. College.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I need for you to do is just go ahead and reach over there and take that shot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for providing that for them.
So I don't have to say because I was the closest. Is that
no, you was off.
I thought that was the rule.
You were off.
Okay. Well, how about we do this? How about
you missed?
How about
we
we do
both
this?
missed. Break.
Hold on. Don't take either one.
Okay.
You have a chance to redeem yourself. Okay.
Shoot.
But just still be prepared. Okay. How much does a WNBA water boy or water person make?
Let's go ahead and cut that in half.
Right. That's not even. I'm gonna be honest. That's not a position because the budget is limited.
It is depending on what team.
It's volunteer. It's $0. That's my final answer.
That makes sense. Oh, that's your final answer?
I'm gonna go with 20.
Well, both of you are incorrect.
That's a freak.
Actually, they pay the WNBA water person $50K as well. Between 53 and 58.
Which team is this based off of?
We about to move to that city right now.
Seriously, because
this is the organization, the Women's National Basketball. What do you mean?
Every team don't have. I don't think the Dream.
They all have different. They have different budgets.
For real.
Seriously, the Dream does not.
Depending on the
Dream, please comment underneath and let us know if you got to pay. If you got to pay person who give y'all water and Gatorade and stuff.
Atlanta Dream.
Absolutely, okay. And you know, I need some tickets. We're gonna come see y'all. You go ahead and throw some tickets in there. No, but I love the Dream. Woo, shout out Atlanta. Yeah. But seriously, so what y'all gonna have to do is
that's crazy.
But you said 20K though?
No, I said that was my guess. 50.
Yeah, they
so
actually it's around the same.
So they're matching pay in certain areas. Okay.
You know what? That's probably the LA Sparks.
Hydration department.
The LA Sparks, are they all by the LA Lakers?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody worried about it.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
Come on, you have to take this shot regardless.
Okay, well let me say that. Hold on, okay. How many questions? Okay, you take half of the shot. You gotta take half of it. Take half of it because we got one more question.
Okay.
Take half. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a little sip, you know, a little something. Okay. Gotta make sure y'all gonna be good when y'all leave.
Shot, though.
You have a whole other shot?
Actually took that.
I'm not gonna
hold out.
I'm about to get this next one.
We 3 for 3.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't have to hold out.
The deceit. The lies. Okay, last question. How much? Because everything always boils down to pay, right? Money talks. How much do you think one of the NBA janitors make?
So you're saying like if they're the janitor for the team, not like the arena?
Like they
they sweep, they mop, they get up to sweat, they do whatever.
But they're employed by the team, not the arena, because
that's 2 different
things.
That's what you get when people went to college. Okay. Yes, sure, yes.
Oh, that's not fair. So the water person's making $58K.
And the janitor working harder.
The janitor
I'm gonna be honest.
Be making more, but I know they not.
For sure. They definitely should be making more.
So let's go with 46.
I'm going with 60.
Final answers.
Final answer.
I don't care if she gets it right. She's taking a shot with me.
All right. The correct answer is the average salary for an NBA janitor is $100K.
I'm about to go be a janitor.
This is average?
$100K, yeah.
Average. I mean, it's people making more, so I'm about to. Where they at?
I would like to know where you.
I mean, maybe if you weren't focused on the hydration and you was really focused on like the cleaning, you know, you'd be at $100K.
But honestly, I'm not trying to clean toilets behind Anthony Davis, so you're right. They deserve $100K. It's some big boys.
You know what? Actually,
Zion. If Zion, yeah, I'm good. Actually, never mind. They deserve that
$100K. Yep. It's looking like you're gonna have to take the rest of that shot. You know,
this is really.
But that's actually wild.
Yeah,
I feel like a water person should make a little more.
Oh, I agree because hydration is important. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, and it's really a high stress environment. Like you gotta make sure that they like trembling. They be like kids.
Yeah, I agree.
For real.
Like you watch the game.
If you don't have the water, they finna go off.
You see them sprinting up and down the sidelines. That's a stressful job.
I agree.
That's crazy.
They should be getting paid more. Come on now, y'all gotta do better.
Advocate for the water, boys and girls.
Yes, come on now.
Water people.
Hydration is important.
Not the ones that's on your corner, Atlanta. Okay.
Okay.
Because they be working too. Like how much they grow.
Them Atlanta water boys.
They're making more than the water boys as the WNBA.
That might be a fact. That might be a fact.
WNBA, WNBA, you know what? That's a partnership we need to talk about.
It is.
The Water Boys of Atlanta.
community.
I bought a hat and a shirt off of them.
You know what they call it?
The Water Boys of Atlanta and the WNBA, they need to team together.
Corporate responsibility.
I agree.
If I see this happen, we're taking these clips and suing them.
For real. Community engagement, okay? Y'all know, for those of you that may or may not know, I'm a DE&I consultant, okay? So this is community engagement, period. All right? So if that's a great foundation of diversity for your organization and company, go ahead and do that, all right? See if we can get some of these water boys some paid internships. Give them something, because also they hustling out here, you know? I'm saying water boys, but it could be some water girls out there, gender non-conforming. Water people. That right?
Yeah,
Employ some of these water people.
Water,
out there.
they, thems, all of them.
Hey,
We want
all
those
of that. We need all of that. Okay, that's what y'all need to do. Community engagement. All right. OMG. Okay. I think I asked y'all all the questions.
That's beautiful.
I think that's it.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. I want to say thank y'all so much for sharing your perspectives. I really, really appreciate it. And if y'all have any questions, y'all can actually reach them at their handles. We're going to list them right here for their handles.
Oh, so I have 2 handles. My personal handle is SSIMS24. That's on Instagram. And then I have handles on TikTok and Instagram, 3 lesbian women, which are me and my poly partners.
Yes, Polly. So if you did not catch our second episode, go back and watch that. We did an episode on dating as well as open relationships and poly relationships. So go back, check that out, check out some definitions, okay? And if you're interested in following Sasha and her partner's journeys, please feel free to check them out. Okay.
And I have 2 handles only on Instagram. One, curly red, CUURLY_REDD. And my second Instagram with me and my wife and our dog about our lifestyle, Match to Mrs. That's MATCHED, the number 2, MRS, Match to Mrs.
Hey.
Well, you never followed me from that page.
I love it. Okay. Well, wait, what'd you say?
I said, why you never followed me from that
sensitive.
page?
Wow. That's fake. You know, sometimes
We're going to get into it when the cameras go off. Some stuff just can't be shown.
Exactly. Some things can't be shown. So make sure you all follow them on their social media platforms. This has been the first installment of Women's History Month, Women in Sports. And make sure you tune in for the next one. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Breaking Barriers with Bria. Make sure to follow us on everything in order to stay up to date with our content. And remember, real baddies break barriers.